Hey everybody, Tasha here from the TNT team of Realty One Group Complete. And if you're thinking about moving to Sacramento, California, this video is for you before you make your decision. Now, today we're talking about the real pros and cons of living in Sacramento. Not the sugar-coated version, not the everything is perfect version, but the honest truth from people who actually live and work here every day. Before we begin, let's get into a little bit about myself and my partner, Tony. I was raised in Minnesota, then moved to Florida, then Southern California, and finally to Montreal, which is where Tony is from. And we finally relocated here to Sacramento in 2005. Yeah, 2005. So here we are. Okay, so let me tell you right now, Sacramento is one of the fastest growing areas in California. People are moving here from the Bay Area, Southern California, and even out of state like us because they want more space, a better quality of life in many cases, more affordable housing compared to other places in California like San Francisco or San Jose. But Sacramento's not perfect, of course. There are some things people absolutely love about living here, and there are definitely some things that people complain about too. So today we are going to break down both sides, the pros and the cons, and whether Sacramento might actually be the perfect fit for you and your family. And make sure to stick around until the end because I'm also going to talk about who Sacramento is best for and who may actually want to look elsewhere. So let's get into it. All right, we're going to start with the pros. Pro number one is diversity and community. One of the biggest pros of living in Sacramento is definitely the diversity and the sense of community here. Sacramento is incredibly diverse culturally, ethnically, and economically. You have people from all different backgrounds living here, and honestly, that's one of the things that gives Sacramento its personality. You can go from one neighborhood to another and experience completely different cultures, different restaurants, and a lot of different events too. Generally speaking, people here are friendly. Sacramento tends to feel more relaxed and approachable than other parts of California where the cities are busy and people are rushed and disconnected. People actually wave at each other. Neighbors talk to each other. You get a sense of family time spent outdoors. Kids ride their bikes. Parents walk along with them. They talk to each other. They meet at parks. There's many community events. Not just meeting in parks, there's a lot of other things that happen here depending on where you live. Places like Elk Grove and Roseville, and Fair Oaks and Granite Bay, there's a very strong neighborhood vibe to it. Okay, pro number two, location. Another huge advantage of Sacramento is the location. This is honestly one of Sacramento's superpowers. You're close to almost everything. Do you want a day trip to San Francisco? 2 hours down the road. Well, 2.5, maybe closer to 3, depending on traffic. Actually, it's about 1.5 to 2 hours, depending on traffic, of course. Everything here is depending on traffic. How about Lake Tahoe? You want to go to Lake Tahoe? That's roughly 2 to 2.5 hours. Again, depending on traffic. How about Reno? You want to go gamble? You want to go hit the nightlife? Reno's about 2-ish hours away. Again, depending on traffic. Everything here is depending on traffic. How about San Jose? You want to go down to San Jose and get close to the ocean? Again, about 2 hours away. Are you in the mood for some wine tasting? Napa, wine country. Napa's about 45 minutes to an hour, again, depending on traffic. These are all places that are wonderful to visit, and it's so close that you can make a day trip out of it. Go down there in the morning, spend the afternoon there, and head back by evening time. Even Southern California flights are easy here because Sacramento International Airport is extremely convenient. And speaking of the airport, let's hit pro number 3, Sacramento Airport. Sacramento International Airport is one of the easiest airports to deal with in California. If you've ever dealt with LAX or SFO, you know exactly what I'm talking about. The Sacramento Airport is close enough to everybody. It's easy to navigate. It's small enough, but yet still an international airport. Parking is so much easier. Security lines are very manageable, and you can get in and out pretty quickly. For many people relocating from the Bay Area, this is actually a huge quality of life improvement. Instead of spending hours getting to the airport, Sacramento residents can often get there in 20 to 30 minutes, depending on where they live and, again, depending on traffic. Pro number 4, job opportunities. Now, let's talk jobs. Sacramento has a lot of job opportunities, way more than a lot of people realize. Obviously, governmental jobs are huge here because Sacramento is the state capital. But beyond that, there's some major corporations and distribution centers throughout the region. You have companies like Apple, Amazon. The healthcare industry here is massive. You have Kaiser, Sutter Health, UC Davis Medical Center. Those are all major employers. And because Sacramento continues growing, there's also a strong need for trades or real estate or service industries like restaurants, construction workers. You get the gist of it. Sacramento is not Silicon Valley money, but the cost of living compared to the Bay Area makes incomes go a lot further here. Pro number 5, things to do in Sacramento. People sometimes think that Sacramento is boring. Honestly, that's usually people who haven't explored the city. There's a lot going on here. I mean, first, Sacramento has a major NBA team, the Sacramento Kings. They play downtown at the Golden One Center, and when the games are going off, the energy downtown is absolutely crazy. It's fantastic during basketball season. We also have a minor league baseball team with the Sacramento River Cats. And now that the A's are rebuilding their stadium, the Oakland A's are temporarily playing here in Sacramento at the River Cats Stadium. And that's hugely exciting. You get Major League Baseball right in your backyard. That's crazy. So, oh wait, on top of that, we have concerts. We have concerts all over the city. There's small venues like the Ace of Spades or much larger venues like the Golden One Center. We have festivals like Aftershock and many, many others. There's outdoor events like concerts in the park during the summer months. We have food festivals. We have country concerts like Country in the Park. We have way too many breweries to name, but there are breweries here. Of course, we have wineries too. We have the farmers markets, and almost every city in Sacramento has its own farmers market, not to mention the downtown one that's pretty large. We have river activities. There's always something happening. Places like Old Sacramento attract tourists year round. Downtown Commons stay active, and during the summer, outdoor events are basically everywhere. Okay, moving on to pro number 6, golf courses and outdoor life. If you enjoy golfing, Sacramento is actually a fantastic place to live. There are approximately 40 to 50 golf courses, believe it or not, throughout the greater Sacramento region, depending on how far out you are, and including some areas depending on how far out you want to drive. You have public courses, you have private clubs, luxury golf communities, all kinds of options. And because Sacramento has so much sunshine, golfers can play year round. If you don't mind a little rain in the winter, you can still play throughout the year. Beyond golfing, there's also many other outdoor activities, such as hiking, biking, of course, fishing, not just in the rivers, but there's a plethora of little ponds here and there. There's boating along the rivers, many parks in basically every neighborhood. Along those parks, there's also trails that are kept up by the city parks and rec. Outdoor living is a huge part of Sacramento lifestyle. Pro number 7, let's talk weather. That is the biggest pro that Sacramento has to offer, is the weather. If you love sunshine, Sacramento just might be perfect for you. Sacramento gets hot in the summertime, sure, and we'll talk about that later in the cons, but many people absolutely love the dry heat here, especially someone like me. You get tons of sunny days in the summertime with blue skies. You can plan a camping trip weeks out in advance without having to worry about it raining, because in summertime we don't get rain. There's very little humidity compared to other states and even other parts of California. So people spend time outdoors constantly in the summertime, like me. We have pool parties. Of course, we barbecue just about every day. We take our dog to the park for walks. Sometimes we meet friends at the river and do river trips and head out on boats. We do outdoor dining as often as possible in the summertime. It's nice to be outside, breathing fresh air and feeling the warm sunshine on your skin. And unlike colder states, you generally don't have to deal with any snow or brutal winters. Winter's pretty mild overall. There's rain, of course. That's our rainy season. We do get rain in the wintertime, but you're not shoveling snow. Okay. Pro number 8, education. Sacramento also has strong educational opportunities depending on the area that you choose. If you have a highly ranked school, if that's what your desire is, a highly ranked school in the public district, you want to go shoot for some place like Elk Grove, Roseville, Rockland, Granite Bay, and Folsom. They all have, El Dorado Hills also. They all have very strong public school systems. If you're looking for higher education, we have Sacramento State University, we have UC Davis nearby. There are tons of community colleges and of course trade schools as well. So families moving here often appreciate the number of schools and the quality of the schools that they have available. Okay, now let's talk cons. As great as Sacramento can be, it's definitely not perfect. So let's talk honestly about the cons of living in Sacramento. Con number 1, the Sacramento summer heat. That is the biggest complaint, the heat in the summertime. Summers in Sacramento can get extremely hot. I mean, we're talking 100 degrees and up, depending on what time of or what month of the year you're talking about. Usually June, it starts to hit the high 90s, low hundreds, and it goes on throughout August. Because Sacramento has very dry summers, the heat can feel relentless for long stretches, but tolerable in the shade, of course, because there's no humidity. In humid states, you feel it whether you're in the sun or the shade. At least in Sacramento, if you're not directly in the sun, you don't feel the heat as much as you would in, say, a humid climate. Now, some people prefer the dry heat over humidity, but if you hate hot weather, Sacramento summers may be tough for you. Air conditioning is basically mandatory here. Moving on to con number 2, a dry landscape. Another thing some people notice is how dry everything gets during the summer. By July and August, the grass turns brown, the hills become golden because of hay. Hills become golden, vegetation dries out, unless of course it's being watered. People moving from a greener climate sometimes find this surprising and not very pleasant. So if you're looking for a green, humid climate, this is not the place for you. Sacramento's dry season is very real. Okay, con number 3 is traffic. Yeah, you guessed it, traffic. So is Sacramento traffic as bad as LA or Bay Area? Of course not, but it's definitely gotten worse over the years. Like the major commute routes of Highway 50, Interstate 80, Highway 99, yeah, that's gotten pretty bad. There's construction and they're growing, so they're making lanes bigger. Oh, Interstate 5 also. Those are your major commute routes. And with all the construction, because Sacramento is growing and they need to make the routes wider, it tends to get a little hairy during the rush hour times. So in the mornings, you get congestion, and of course, in your evening drive back, you get congestion. And because so many people have moved here from the Bay Area and other places, the commutes have gotten significantly higher in certain times of the day, obviously, rush hour traffic. So if you work downtown, but you live out in Elk Grove or Roseville or Folsom, traffic becomes a part of your daily life. On number 4, earthquakes. Now let's address something that people always ask about because we're in California is the earthquakes. How often do you guys get earthquakes in Sacramento? Sacramento itself is not as earthquake prone as places closer to the coast like San Francisco or Los Angeles, but you are still in California, so earthquakes are always a possibility. Some people moving here don't spend their days or do spend their days worrying about earthquakes, but it's something to be aware of. If it happens, 100 miles away from you, you still might feel it depending on the size of the earthquake. But it's not something that we generally worry about here in Sacramento. Con number 5, winter rain. Another con for some people is winter weather. Instead of snow, Sacramento gets rain. And during certain winters, we can get extended periods of rain. Lots of high winds, lots of flooding. So personally, many people prefer rain over snow, like myself. I don't like to shovel snow. But you don't have to shovel your driveways or deal with icy roads or black ice. But if you love snowy winters, Sacramento probably wouldn't give you that experience unless you drive up to the mountains to the snow in Tahoe or Reno. So there's always that option if you want snow and don't want to have to deal with it on a day-to-day basis. Con number 6, cost of living. Even though Sacramento is more affordable than, say, the Bay Area, California is still California. Home prices, insurance, utilities, taxes, like taxes on gas, can be pretty expensive compared to other states. And prices have gone up significantly over the last several years because of the demand. It continues to increase. So, to sum it up, here's who I think Sacramento is best for. People who want diversity. People who love sunshine. People who like a central California location. People who want more affordability than, say, the Bay Area or Los Angeles. People who like suburban lifestyle without the craziness of the city, but still close enough to have city access. Sacramento offers a very balanced lifestyle. But if you absolutely hate hot weather, or you want a slower, small town lifestyle, or even if you want snowy winters every day during the wintertime, Sacramento is probably not the perfect fit. All in all, if you're thinking about moving to Sacramento or anywhere surrounding areas like Elk Grove, Roseville, Granite Bay, Folsom, or El Dorado Hills, feel free to reach out to us. We'd love to help guide you through the process and help you find out which lifestyle, which area fits best for you. Now, if you found this video helpful, please make sure you hit the subscribe button. Hit the button, subscribe. We post videos like this every single week about what's really like living in Sacramento, California. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next video.